5 facts about Taejin Jin. Taejin Jin, the grandfather of the main character, is funny, goofy, and super strong. So here's a video dedicated to the grand legend himself. Anyway, let's just get straight into it. Fact number 1. Taejin Jin is a light-hearted, friendly, honest, and goofy character with an innocent personality, which is very appealing. Mori Jin really takes after his grandfather in this respect. Fact number 2. Taejin Jin is a genuine fighter, which means he fights purely based on martial arts, fighting skills, and techniques, rather than using charyeok, aka borrowed power. He actually believes it's not good to rely on borrowed power. The martial arts that he practices is Renewal Taekwondo, and interestingly, he was the first ever practitioner of this fighting style. He later trains his adopted grandson, Mori Jin, in this martial art, though his destructive capabilities far exceed Mori Jin during the first couple of arcs. One interesting thing about Taejin is that he really loves nature. Because of this, when he fights, he tries to hold back if possible, so he doesn't end up destroying nature. But when he's pushed during a fight, small parts of entire countries can disappear. Fact number 3. As I mentioned in the last fact, Taejin's grandson is Mori Jin. As far as we are aware, Mori is the only family Taejin has. Taejin is a lot like Grandpa Gohan from Dragon Ball, in the way he finds, adopts, and trains the main character of the show. And about having no other family, at one point, Taejin mentions how he purposely chose not to have family. So don't underestimate him. Taejin and Mori have an incredibly loving and funny relationship. They lived together during Mori's formative years, but at some point the two of them split up so that Mori can go to school. Before splitting, they took a picture together, which is something Mori cherishes a lot. It is one of his few possessions in his otherwise empty room. Often, when Taejin speaks to Mori, he talks to him as if he's a baby. He even refers to him as my little baby. Though that doesn't mean he thinks Mori is weak or anything, because we see that Taejin gets angry with Mori if he ever loses, especially if it's in a humiliating way. Plus, during a phone conversation with Mujin Park, when Mujin threatens Mori's life, Taejin only laughs and tells Mujin that if he dares to do anything to Mori, he'll get all the bones in his body broken by Mori himself. And this is Mujin Park we're talking about, a member of the Six, someone who is far above even the executive commissioners. This shows the level of expectation Taejin has for his grandson. During the same conversation, Taejin mentions the Jin family motto is do whatever you want, which is something Taejin taught to his grandson. Interestingly though, this motto was edited in the Manhwa. The original family motto was follow your nose, which I personally think is a lot more powerful, since it's not about doing whatever, but more about following and acting on instinct. In any case, I'm not sure why they decided to change it. Do whatever you want was the line that also makes it into the anime. The second part of the motto is keep it short on the phone, which remains through the old edit and the new edit of the manhwa, but is taken out of the anime. Fact number 4. Taejin Jin was the first ever user of Renewal Taekwondo. The way this came about was through South Korea's capture of a North Korean agent who was versed in ITF Taekwondo. At one point, 38 North Korean espionage agents infiltrated South Korea. 37 of them were killed, while the last one was captured. The captured agent was made to fight 50 South Korean martial arts masters, and all 50 masters were defeated by him. But through studying the strengths and weaknesses of ITF Taekwondo, South Korea developed what later became Renewal Taekwondo. The first person to master the new discipline was none other than Taejin Jin, and to show off his new abilities, he defeated the North Korean ITF agent who previously beat the 50 masters. After Taejin Jin, a few others also managed to learn Renewal Taekwondo. 20 of them joined together to form the White Fox Unit, a South Korean military unit with Taejin Jin as their leader. Their members include Iltae Park. Fact number 5. His biggest rivals are the Six, who are some of the strongest fighters around. He once fought against all the members of the Six and won, meaning Taejin Jin is crazy strong. More specifically, he fought all 6 of them, beating 5 among them, and according to his own judgment, he would have beaten the last member too. But before that could happen, the fight was interrupted, ending the battle there, in Taejin's favour. His biggest rival among the 6 has to be Bongchim, who gets closer to Taejin's level as time passes. During the battle between Taejin Jin versus the 6, Taejin calls Bongchim annoying and rips his arm off. Just a quick side note, Taejin is also the one to give Mujin Park and Executive S their scars. A separate enemy of Taejin Jin is the Nox. He has an encounter with many of their forces and devastates so many of them. When his arm is injured, he decides to cut it off himself and fights the rest of the battle one-armed, despite what that would do to his fighting ability, and more specifically his balance as a man who primarily uses his legs for combat. After the battle, Mori Jin is informed about the circumstances, as well as the fact that his grandpa's blood was found on the scene. But rather than get worried for him, Mori Jin says that he's more worried for his opponent, showing that he has a deep trust in his grandpa's strength. Anyway, what do you guys think? What's your favorite fact about Taejin Jin? What are some other interesting facts that I didn't include? This is Anime Talks 101, so let's talk about it. Comment down below, I wanna know your thoughts.